Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about arrays and about this particular coding challenge I have here. So let's read this challenge. Write a function to check whether an input is an array or not. This function should return true or false, and we can see two examples here. You know, this one seems to be very trivial, but remember, we are here to talk about the logic we want to apply. You can pause the video, read the description one more time and think about it. I would like to know your suggestions, so you can place your ideas in the comments below. Before we start, I want to point that for all kinds of checks we want to make, we need to write functions with a respect name. This one will be called isArray because this is a common convention. We name the functions in a way like we are asking for something. IsArray, or for instance we can call isEmpty, canWalk, and so on. And of course all these functions should return Boolean expression. It means that the function should return true or false. You know, you might ask why we need these kind of functions. Let's imagine you are working as a front-end or back-end developer, and there of course is a big number of incoming data. So in order to handle this data correctly, you have to check if it is an object, or maybe if this data is an array or just a string. That is why the functions like these can be very useful. So let's get started with our example. In our case, as I said, this function will be called isArray, and it takes an argument which is just called as an input. So let's write this function. So as I said, this function should return true or false. Just let me copy my examples so we can test our function. Okay, now we know that in JavaScript we have many types of data. So in order to check what is the data, we use the native type of method which is in JavaScript. And the first what can cross to my mind or your minds is to use this method to check. So let's have a look how will it work. But first I would like to use my console in the browser to point on this method. So we can ask type of number. You see, it returns number, or type of some word. You see, it returns string. Pay attention that the message type of returns is in lowercase. Let's apply this for our function. I would like to know a type of input and whether this is equal to array. So let's see, will it work or not? It returns false and false. Let's think what has happened. You see that array is actually object indeed. Welcome to weird JavaScript world. I'm not going to explain why it happened. It is out of scope of this video. Now we can see that this method is not reliable enough for us. So what can we do else? We can think about properties and methods each array has. For example, an array has length property and methods such as pop, shift, for each, map, and many others. So can we use these methods or properties to check whether the input is an array? Actually, we cannot use the length property because strings have it too. Let's check it quickly. So we can use the length property to check the array length, yes, and we can use this one for a string. We see that they both have length. Okay, let's think about methods an array can have. Let's check if this input have a pop method. Be careful, we don't want to call this method. We want just return this method if it is. Let's check it. You see, it returned pop, the native function that the array has, and for string it returned undefined. So we can use it. Just let's turn this into Boolean expression using 2 exclamation marks. Yes, we did it. You know, of course, there is plenty of ways of how can we do this check. I would like to look at your suggestions in comments. Thank you for watching me. See you next time.